Yay, things are working right, and my stream isn't threatening to disconnect. Woo! Um, you cannot see, but over in this area, I have all of my space wolves, with the exception of the actual wolves. And I had only put together 5 of my blood claws and the leader. And I realized that left only 2. Well, I say put together. They look like this. So I'm going to put those together. Kinda. We'll see. Alright, where is... So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I can do that. I also have Alistair here, who has given me a lot of stress. So much stress over the past few days. He's just sitting here like, ha ha, that was so funny of me where I almost died and was pretending to be dead, kinda. That was so funny of me. Ha ha. Jerk. Jerk. But yeah, I only have 4 of the blood claws to put together, which I'm a little conflicted because I've been reading my Space Wolves book. I like when Grimdark is a little goofy sometimes. So the blood claws are the youngest, and they have, you know, some issues with control, and they're a little bit scampy. And what I was reading is that regular blood claws do not have the jetpack. That is only sky claws, as opposed to, oh, what was the other one called? Because those actually really crack me up. Let us look into the ancient texts. Okay, swift claws and sky claws. So, according to the lore, if they have a jetpack, they are a sky claw, which is essentially them being like, wow, you are so rowdy and full of bloodlust. Let's strap a jetpack on you. Go on, have fun. The swift claws are actually really interesting because they are part of the biker, and I don't know if they have made a Space Wolf like biker yet. I might have to just find regular Space Marine bikers and then retrofit Kit Bash onto them, the Space Wolf stuff. But I do love that idea, like, a lot. I like the idea of the swift claws a lot, of just, both of these are very funny. But that does mean that, because I didn't know that prior, I did attach all these jetpacks. So these are the rowdiest of the rowdies, which is very funny to me. Ooh. And I do know that the Who's-a-ma-whatsits, the combat patrol that is coming out for the Space Wolves is also going to include blood claws, so I don't know if that unit is going to have jetpacks. And if they don't have the jetpacks, does that interfere with their ability to move? All right, what other numbers? 7, 9, 8, and 10. Well, here's 7 and 8. Over there. And now just 9 and 10. Oh, they're right. There's 9. Well, I found 9. Now I just need leg 10, which is apparently hidden somewhere. It is 10, right? I'm not. No, I need to look for 7, which is right next to it. Oh my gosh. I am so smart. Alright. Come to me, mini, tiny, tiny pieces. That doesn't. Yeah, that's right. Wrong side. Please behave, foot. Also, the blood claws have been the most difficult to put together. At one point, I had the blood claw leader, his leg wrong, and it looked like he was tripping, even though they had kind of fit together fine. Yeah, so I'm not entirely sure. So, like, these are clearly running poses, but also it looks like he's skipping a little, so I'm not entirely sure I did everything correctly. But they went together, so... I wonder if I get flagged for the craft knife. That would be a silly reason to get flagged, but, you know. I'm always surprised with how soft this plastic is. Alright. So the fun part. Putting him together. With the glue. There it is. Alright, before I go gluing legs on, let me glue on their kneecaps? Sure. Okay, kneecap glue on. Come here, you teeny tiny piece of crap. Alright. So, I know you guys can't see this well, but they kind of have them all coming together at the same time, which is... so this guy was... How did we... I think I had to do the other foot first to figure out how it slotted into place, because it is kind of moving upwards. Aha! Okay, it slots like that. Lord, I hope so. That feels right. Yeah, that feels really correct. Okay. Ah! Stay. No, stay. Stay together. Alright, so this is a very obvious running pose where this is going to be back like this. And how do we slot you together to do that? I have him over here. I think maybe part of the issue is that this one is too far. Yeah? No? So what did I do for you? Okay, so the knee is perpendicular. Okay. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay. Just gently remove it. Add some glue in various locations and hope that they're the correct location. Stick it back together. Yeah, okay. Now all I need is this little jetpack, so we can cause massive damage and mischief. Press. Alright, set him aside. We're now looking at 61, 62, 4, 5, 63, 7. Okay, cool. Also, do excuse my throat. Allergies have been kicking my ass today. Clip, clip. There you are. Ew! That was 61. So the back piece. Hi, Molly. I know, they're being so cute.
The Makening.
Yep. I only had 4 more to put together. Well, as together as a headless, armless man could be. And on bases. So, snip, 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 snip. 64.
I'm gonna go to Harbor Freight at some point tomorrow. Look for a bunch of tools to make your minis.
Sure, absolutely.
I saw the fancy glue bottle that on one of the people we were watching.
Oh, yeah. Well, like, you should see the nippers.
Yeah.
The nippers have been through it.
Been through life.
They're still cutting, but not crisply.
Yeah.
There are chickens at Harbor Freight.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I think that's Tractor Supply.
Oh, that's Tractor. Yeah. Dang it.
Yeah, I don't think chickens would survive the China across the sea trip. Shipping containers that most of Harbor Freight shit comes from.
You're probably not wrong. I thought you said you were going to say, I don't think the chickens are going to survive Alistair.
Well, maybe if you had a couple more pounds on
Oh, true. I need one more viewer to get up to affiliate.
Okay. I will go. I will go.
Will you be my knight in shining armor?
Yes.
You're amazing. I love you. Oh, that's glue on me. I was like, why am I sticking to stuff? It's glue. Oh, you're so cute, guys. I really find the armor interesting because you can kind of tell what's newer and what's older just by looking at how it's made. Like these really smooth, no kneecap armor. Like you would think because of its simplicity, it would be like older armor, and then the newer stuff is more complicated, but because of how things work and how technology works in this universe, it's actually the reverse, and the armor keeps getting worse, which is just fascinating. And not at all like real life. Oh, and the jetpack. All right. I always forget this little thing in between here. Alright. Time to assemble. This foot does not have the rock. Are you the kneecap I need? Yes, you are the kneecap I need. I wonder if Harbor Freight would have like milliput. Because the only place I've seen online that has milliput locally is frickin' that arts and crafts store that has a name. The one that smuggled tablets. I hope you know what I'm talking about. I got glue on me. Oh, I got glue on me. Hobby Lobby. Yes. I always forget it makes noise. I don't know if that is going to wipe away smoothly or if that's already dry. Alright, back to figuring out how they fucking want me to stick these goddamn legs up in this crotch. Oh, I did not sand his crotch. Okay. Now it definitely is a stepping. Oh, okay, this one's pretty easy. Good, 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 good. But that means the other side's going to be a pain. Together, form a bond. All right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Weird. I swear, sometimes they make things more complicated than they need to be based on how they cut these pieces to fit together. All right, okay, I can go over there and glue. 78 to 80. Oh, his backy pack. No, not his backpack. Go in this. Go in. Thank you. Oh no, I have a sneeze coming on. All right. What was it? 78 to 84. Well, there's 79. Get. Come here. There is 80. Oh no, you were 100. I'm going to set you aside. That one's 79. Because that one's 78. You can't put two fronts together. I mean, you could. It would just not be correct. Eh. Okay. 78, 79, 80. Where are you? 81. Well, there's 84. I think Mama Kitty is having a little meow fit. 83. Meow. She has such a cute little meow. 81, 82. Cool. Easy peasy. Is it bad I'm getting good at reading these fucking god-awful sprues? Every time I'm like, this time I won't glue my thumb together. And that never happens. Yeah, Mama Kitty, we can hear you. Yeah. I wonder who she's looking for. Alistair, Andy, and Honeybee are back here with me, sweetie. I've already marked them all up.
Easier to read or no?
Oh yeah, that's much easier than the metallic silver I used. I think if you turn it to the back, you can see where I've marked it up. Because I marked all the sprees with what pack they came from and what number they are from that pack.
There you go.
Thank you. What is this?
Chalk.
Oh, it's a chalk marker. Why do you have a chalk marker?
From my glass thing on my desk.
I
I have other colors as well, but I figured white's
White's probably going to be the best.
I've got like a bright orange and pink.
Do you have a green? Like a lime green?
I think so.
Oh, yay! Alright. Be gone. Yucky. What the hecky heck happened there? Oh, I got too close to it and cut it instead of just the sprue. Whoops. What's a little battle damage? You making sure they show up?
Yeah. So getting it started for me.
Thank you, sweetie.
Oh.
They are fresh. Uh-oh. That's my phone. I love that Alistair really wanted to be like me and was like, let's go into medical debt together.
No. They both show up okay. Especially if you get too much on, you can just wipe them away.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, I got a little bit on there.
Oh no, it's not like I primed them. Whatever will I do?
Can I get my white one back?
Yeah,
You want just the green?
just want the green one.
I'll try.
Thank you, baby.
Where's for
Woo! Alrighty. Freaking sniffles. Okay. You come here. Gain this. On you go. You gain this. Uh-oh. The glue has gone on. Ah! Ouch. I don't know what Mama Kitty is meowing at, but she is going. Oh, you know what? It's close to food time. I bet she is learning. She's going to be a right proper house cat soon enough. Alright. This one is nice and easy because it actually has little nubules I can line up. Oh my God. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I would attempt pronouncing, because it's fail, right? Fail? Well, thank you. That is very helpful. Alistair, somebody donated to your vet bills. Yes, it's me. That is huge. Thank you so much. Yeah, buddy. Do not lick the napkin. No, you have enough medical debt already. We do not eat the napkin. He likes to keep me stressed, is what he likes to do. Again, thank you so much. I'm trying to think of how to put Alistair in the frame, but he is big. And he's currently licking the table, so you know, he's preoccupied. Yeah, bud. Yeah. Okay, he's done licking the table. He has decided to lay down. Alright, last Blood Hunter body. Woo! Okay, I already got 100 because I can't count for shit. There's 102. I say I can't count. The sprues are sometimes hard to read. And then... where's 101? Oh, it's right there. It looks like it's 42, but it's actually 101. So 101, 102, 103, right there. I'm just cutting it this time. 104. And then 5 and 6 are somewhere. Oh yeah, that's right. They're like in opposite places. So there's 106. I remember when I was building this one on the other sprue, because then 105, which you think would be easy because it is the only one that's left. There it is. Alright. We have the pieces of the boy. mostly. I've got a lot of headless marines on my table right now, particularly because I'm not going to zoom in too close. In hindsight, looking at him, only thing that's bad is his eyes. I thought this was much worse than it actually is, so I may not redo him. I might just have him as, this is where I started and this is where I ended. But I have learned that having their heads and arms detached actually makes things more difficult. So my Grey Hunters are unfortunately my learning how to paint a marine. Some of them have the beginnings of pauldrons painted horribly. And then Lou was like, well, did you trace it on, or did you sketch it on with pencil? And I was like, no, I didn't, because I'm stupid. That seems so obvious now. But freehanding with paint is hard to begin with. And it's so interesting because you're following a lot of the sculpt, so it looks all nice and crisp. And then when you go in with freehand, it's like, oh no. Though I imagine if you, if you painted it a little bit more painterly, the freehand wouldn't look so bad. Massive sprue chunk. Womp. Okay. Very excited because once I get this guy glued together, I can work on, I have 5 bases that I need to do. The blood claws are easy. It's literally put down some modeling paste. But the commander of the whole group, I want to do something special for his. Also, I was reading the lore again for Fenris. Fenris. I felt like I was wrong, but I was correct. The planet that the Space Wolves are on, because, you know, subtlety is not Game Workshop's, you know, expertise. But I thought it was really cool because they have an elliptical pattern around the sun that they call the Wolf's Eye, which means they have, theoretically, they have like 4 good seasons, but they're probably short-lived, and with like elliptical. So let's say this is the sun, this is Fenris, and an elliptical like this, so long. So they have these periods over here. You mean the obvious Viking wolves aren't subtle? Not at all. They really went full moon with these guys. But it's really cool because that means they have these incredibly long winters over here. And these scorching hot, what they call like the ice and fire, which I'm like, I love it. I love it. Is it subtle? No, but it's beautiful. But it should mean that there are periods, well, no, because the way this part of their season works is it is so bad it causes tectonic activity, so they will have complete pieces or entire continents destroyed, new continents build up. I heard someone, I was watching lore videos, they referred to Fenris and the Space Wolves as like the Catachan of the Space Marines, which I would almost agree with, except for the Space Wolves are on the one island that is completely stable. The people of Fenris are very Catachan-like, but instead of jungles, they've got fire and ice. And I'm very sad because we'll never see like a guard of Fenris, because it, from what I've seen, guards only come from planets where there is no Space Marine presence. Although it would be very cool. And now I'm back to figuring out how to fucking put fucking legs on these goddamn stupid boys. Okay. Are we Gucci? Is that it? I mean, that doesn't feel good. That doesn't feel stable. But I knew, because I had read a little bit, that I really wanted all of them to be like the bases to look post-blizzard, so thick snow, rather than like ice or a tundra where you can see like that hard-packed frozen dirt. But now I want to make at least a small company during the fire season, because I think that, you know, that's a completely different looking world. Also, I like the idea that they have their summer armor, which is just like a bikini version of the Space Marine armor, which is very amusing to me. Actually, that's kind of the Wolfen. Where are my cards? Where are my cards? Never mind. We will have to go to the book. Every time I like have to reference the book when I'm looking for stuff, it feels like I'm like the sacred text from Star Wars. Maybe there's just nice pictures of the Wolfen. No. Wolfen. No, that's a cool painting, but not what I was looking for. Okay, here we go. If you look at the Wolfen, which are, it's hard to do because it's shiny, you can actually see that they've got Space Marine. What's that? They've got Space Marine Under Armour on, and then they have like a pauldron or something else, like spare bits of the Space Marine armor, because like their lore is that they technically failed becoming a Space Marine. They did not get the full thing, but why waste perfectly good angry fighters? And apparently they actually travel or live in the forest surrounding the main, like surrounding the Fang, and they sometimes will work with the Space Wolves, but not always, which I find very funny. I quite like them. I'm very excited for the Combat Patrol to come out, and I can paint them. As goofy as people find them, I find them kind of endearing, but I find them endearing because of their goofiness. I know you're in here somewhere. This is for the Combat Patrol. Oh, no, this is a different thing. Oh, here we go. We have one of the models here. But yeah, I think that's very neat that the closest thing that we would have to a summer bikini wearing Space Marine is the Wolfen. Anyways, back to, no, I didn't glue on his kneecap. Which one do you get? You get this one, I think. Yeah. Glue. Actually, if somebody knows the name of these little kneecap pieces, what they're specifically called in the realm of armor, I would greatly appreciate it. Because the Space Marine armor is very similar to, like, I say similar. If you were to look at old-fashioned medieval knight, like their plate armor, that is what Space Marine armor reminds me of, which makes sense. But I didn't study that time period of history, so I don't know much. I always love getting into hobbies where it's from time periods I don't study, because it just makes me want to study those time periods. Like, I actually don't know a bunch about Vikings. Polyons. Gino. That looks French. Which makes sense if we're going with kind of classic big armor. Interesting. Okay. Okay, you actually go together easier than I thought you would. Interesting. Alex, I know you're watching. Mama Kitty is in my office playing with the brown paper again. I can hear her. It's very cute. She is so sweet. Over the past year, we haven't had her for a full year yet. That'll be on the 20th. But over the past year, she has really started to move from feral cat to house cat. But one of her cute little quirks is you can never catch her playing. If you catch her playing, no, you didn't. You don't see anything. God damn his stupid fucking pack. Alright. So, they're all going to get packs. So they're all actually going to be Sky Claws, which is so silly. I love them so much. They're just great. Alright. So there's the 4 of them. I'm going to wait for the glue to, like, really get done doing stuff. Until then, I'm going to... So I have my commander. He's headless and armless currently, but that's fine. And his base. You can tell he's important because his base is slightly bigger. And then I picked up this piece, which comes from... Where are you? This guy. He stands on this piece. He is the leader of the Grey Hunters? Yeah, the Grey Hunters. He still needs love. But I'm going to use that on his base, of which I don't want him sticking off the base, but I still want this on the base. So it might be one of those kind of like... Is that going to make things harder to paint? Probably. Probably. I might actually just... Because there is a section here where you can kind of see where the foot is supposed to stick into. And I was originally just going to cover that up with some modeling putty. But instead, to save room and make my life easier when it comes to painting him, I'm going to just remove it. Now I need sand. There we go. And that way, when I go to push it down into the fake snow, I can just build up snow around here and it'll look fine. I also have some little white rocks, which I don't think I'm going to use, and some winter bush mix. When Joanne was closing down, may she rest in peace, Joanne had like a really small modeling section and miniature section, and that place was in the back of my store, hidden away. So basically nothing was touched. So I was able to buy a lot of extremely discounted diorama stuff, which was awesome. So I don't need the glue. I just stick it into the, there we go. All right. Also, this stuff has been awesome because normally modeling paste is quite heavy, but because this stuff is so lightweight, it has not added much weight to these guys. Which you might think having the weight is a good thing, and I know that. But also, I don't like it when things are heavy. Where did it go? Oh, here you are. Also, if you scrape up the bits that are on the rim and kind of mix it in there, it looks chunky and works really lovely to make a texture. And I have 10, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 Grey Wolves that also need this on their base, but I glued them to their bases before I did this, like an idiot. And I have, what am I doing? Why am I doing it like this? Why am I making my life hard? Why aren't y'all yelling at me to stop making my life hard? Here we go. So I don't know if I want to pry them. I'm worried that if I try and pry them off their bases, they'll lose their toes. But I could stick them all in the freezer and like weaken the glue, but that would weaken the glue on all of them, like all their parts, and I don't want to do that. All right. I do want this monster skull kind of facing this way, and then we can build up snow around you. No one has to know. No one has to know. Ha ha ha. Cool. Bap, 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 bap. Make the snow look textured. All right, my dude. Perfect. Scooch down. Pull some of that snow on there. Pop, pop, pop. Please. Do I want to add a shrub? I don't think I do. I think I want to stick with more tundra-y, flat snow, bits of rocks, and bone. I do have bones. I could, let's see how big they are. Well, I say bones. They're mostly skulls, and I think they're a little big, but it does sell the Monster Hunter factor of them. All right. My leader has a base that needs to dry. Now it's time to get the other 4 idiots onto the bases, which is harder than it looks because almost all of them are just attached to the base via one foot. And I'm probably inevitably going to have to glue some of them back on because I've just been sticking them into, well, this is gel. The hold should be okay because they're plastic and fairly lightweight. If they were metal, we'd have a problem. Bap, 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 bap. I love how the lighting shows like none. There we go. Texture. Who wants to go first? Who's easy? You might be. Yeah, you're perfectly suited to just step. You hang off the base a little bit, but I am okay with that. Now you must dry. That is too much. Bap, 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 bap. Bap, bap, bap. Bap, 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 bap. All right. Let's see. The funny thing is if you lay them back like this, it looks like they're slipping and falling, which is very amusing, but not, you know, army appropriate. I think it's you. Yeah. So I think I'll do you on the side. Heaven forbid these bases be easy to pick up. Alright, you are the most confusing to me because you look like you're skipping. Alistair, was that a tummy gurgle? You have to tell me. Let's stick you back here. Gosh, it looks like he's falling. But yeah, I'm gonna keep that the way it is. I'm gonna scoop that off. Stick you over here. These things, as little as I am using, because it is gel, and because it is lightweight, for whatever reason, it takes like 24 hours to fully dry. Even this little bit. Yeah. We're gonna go kind of thick on this one. Bap, 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 bap. And smooth. Oh, you're another one that's weird. Let's pop you facing like that. So yeah, I have a bunch of little guys on bases. I don't know if heating up the bottom would detach it either because it's super glue. Very, very fine knife, just yeah. So yeah. Don't know what to do about their bases. They are completely my learning group. Which means I'm inevitably going to have to get, well, I am going to have to get, because this is at most like 570 points, so. But I will need more gray hunters that don't look like they were horrible experiments. Okay. Also, let's go with this guy. I painted up a small Alistair. I don't know if it's going to focus. But he's itty bitty and he's wearing armor that I'm going to repaint to be more copper, like all the metal on their stuff. And he is going to go into battle with one of my headhunters right here. Because what little I know about Vikings is they had a very interesting relationship with cats. That needs to be cleaned. Which I guess makes sense because they may have still had Norwegian forest cats. I would like to prime those, but those bases are super wet, so they are not going to stay in place, which is just a bummer. So you don't get to be nice and pretty and solid blue yet, losers. Okay, I need to go get water. It's okay, Alistair. It's okay. I'm not going too far. I'm just getting water. Yuck. Okay, I don't need any of this currently. Pop you over there. Put the guys that are drying back that way. I want to paint up a head taker, particularly the one that I'm going to put Alistair on, because one, I adore these models, and two, my little kitty cat. Kitty cat. All right. Yeah, but am I making too much noise? I'm so sorry. I'm making too much noise. It's so crazy because prior to this weekend, he was doing terrible, absolutely awful. Wasn't eating, losing weight, hiding, like all the signs of end-of-life animal. And then over the weekend, or halfway through the weekend, I guess I should say, he's not better, mind you. Like last night, he actually wanted to play fetch. He hasn't wanted to do that in ages. But granted, I threw it like a total of 3 times, and he was like, I'm done. That's enough exercise for me. Alright. Uh-oh. Didn't see that one through. Alright. I don't don't really think you can see the pauldrons at all. You can a little bit. What color pauldrons are head takers? Those are Longfangs, Grey Hunters, Bloodclaws, Wolfengard. Okay. Land Priest, Wolf Priest, Dreadnoughts. Am I stupid? Did I just like skip right over them? Ah, they are part of the Wolf Guard. Okay, so that means nada, but it means shit. So I guess yellow? I guess we're gonna go yellow? But that's such a small bit of, like, their armor that I don't think it matters right now. What else? It doesn't have a head currently or weapons, so that is not important. Where? There it is. Cool. Oh, and this. Cool. We have gathered colors. I think I'm going to start with the cape because I like this. Whoop-a-doo! The Galactic Traveler. Nice to meet you too. I am painting Space Wolves while trying to raise money for my cat Alistair, who has a bit of a medical. He's old and been giving me stress. Okay, so I don't need the yellow ink yet. Yeah, he's not been doing too well. So interestingly, these two blue, this is similar to, this is actually from the Army Painter Gorgon Hide, and this is just the WizKids Winter Pelt. It doesn't ever show up this blue. This one actually shows up a little bit better. It's so weird. I think it's color theory and where you have things, but I'm going to go for a lighter colored cloak on all my head takers versus the more natural, I say natural, but because I did my Finneran Wolves in this kind of bluish color, and it's one of the places they get leathers from, I wanted it to match, but this one I want to be lighter. Although I was watching somebody who was also painting, and they did very like realistic gray wolves, like English gray wolves, which I don't even know if they still exist. That would be a question. No, actually I think I do know that, because I believe England no longer has any natural large predators left on the continent, which is very tragic. I don't think I'll need the copper yet, but I will need this bone color. All right, so his cloak has, oh, I will need the copper, but I'll get it in a second. His cloak is shorter than, of course, the wolf priest. I think it's also shorter than, yeah, it's definitely shorter than the leaders. It's also a little bit more natural in that he has a little paw on his with beans, which I kind of like. There are also two cloak clasps on either side. That one has a rune and one has a wolf skull. And then I wasn't too fond of this. He has a knife that's attached to the cloak, and then the hilt of the knife is actually attached to his armor, which is very, very weird. But we're gonna go in. We've started with the darkest shade already, so it's just a matter of building up. I feel like this is going to require a significant amount of dry brushing, but uh-oh. Are you already that loose? I am entirely too hard on my brushes. Okay. So on the underside, where is that brush? I need this one. We're gonna go in with my lighter blue. That is, what are you? Still gray, which seems oddly appropriate. What am I doing? I'm making things harder on myself again. I have these contraptions. I should use the contraptions. Now comes the part where I get really quiet because I'm concentrating. I will say, I do enjoy doing the fur quite a bit, but it has been the hardest on my paintbrushes. Outside of me just being incredibly mean to my paintbrushes, but... Apparently, there is a Space Wolves contrast paint, of which I did not see at my game store. That looks like part of the armor. But I am very curious as to how it looks. Boy howdy, oops. I always feel quite good about how I've like primed things and painted things, and then I break out the magnifier and I'm like, ooh. Excuse me, cat hair, I do not need you right now. Need a better thing. Also, excuse the sound. I'm going to need to use my air gun real quick. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm not drying the paint. It's just with really textured things like this, you're prone to getting bubbles. So I'm popping the bubbles before the paint has a chance to dry. So I don't end up with that bubbly, disgusting texture. That's particularly, it happens a lot with thin down paint. Okay, now I'm going to actually dry the paint. When you're drying the paint, don't accidentally melt the plastic. Just, you know, a heads up. Right. That is what we are currently looking at. So we need to make it a lot lighter. I know I pulled out dry brushes. Okay, they're there. I was like, no. I know I did this thing. So where the frick are they? And where is my dry brush palette? Oh, there it is. I love dry brushing. It adds such a beautiful texture. Now I don't exactly have a wash I can use to tie all of this together. I do have white ink, but I am afraid that the white ink might just be too much to really like, I think it would end up toning it down way too much, which is not what I wanted. But you can see how different, or not different, how much whiter this one looks. Which I really like it. So I don't think I'm going to do anything else to it other than paint the claws a bone color. And then maybe go over it with a little bit of wash at the very end. Are you going to be small enough? I don't know if you're going to be small enough for me. No. No. Let's get a smaller brush. The bone color I'm using is skeleton bone. And it's really nice. It's not my favorite. I think bone white is more fun for skeletons, but because this particular shade has that yellow tinge to it, a lot more of a yellow tinge to it, it looks really good with the blue. I might actually go back in and add white to the paws. Claws. Yeah, let's add a little white to the palette. Okie dokie. Where is my dry brush? There it is. This white is very pigmented and I like it a lot, and it's way better than Citadel's white, which is, you know, a mess. Ooh, I might add just a lot of white to the underside. I think that looks good. Wintry even. I'm really liking how this is coming out. Not like detailed fur, but close enough for my liking. Oh, the paw looks so boopable. All right, let's move on, because there are places that needs touching up. There's definitely places that are going to need some more paint. So let's start by touching up the places that need more of the dark gray. I say gray, this is very blue. Somber gray. It's very fun because I also have a warm gray by them. Where is it? Is it by them or is it by Vallejo? It's Vallejo. So you have a warm gray called warm gray, and you have this cool gray, and when you put them next to each other, they don't look gray at all. I like this color a lot. All right. I'm going to end up using my air gun quite a bit. My heat gun, I guess I should say. Because I've thinned down this paint quite a bit. And I don't know why. I wish I understood why I have this particular issue. I don't know if other people do. But I get a lot of bubbles. And it's probably speeding up my painting, or not, slowing down my painting time, because I've constantly gotta blow out bubbles, but it does make the paint a lot smoother. Oops, that is the wrong color. I was like, gosh, that is bright. Yeah, girl, that is bright. Cleaning up my mistake. Wah, wah, wah. Wash, 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 wash. Wash, wash, wash. This is not like the biggest issue in the world, but also, if you didn't see what I did, I put a bunch of water on my miniature before the paint had a chance to dry to pick up as much of it as possible. Whew. Now it's like it barely even happened. No big deal. Let's get the right fucking gray blue. I will say, not having the arms on or the head on has made this way easier than previously, where I was fighting for my life. Okay. Now, I've tried a bunch of different painting techniques and blending and various things on, again, my Grey Wolves. The dry brushing is up there with what I like the most. Oh yeah, he's a mess. He gets stuck. So the dry brushing is up there, to adding depth. And I haven't gone in with any shades or washes on these guys. Like this guy looks really good, so I might go in. I've got, let's see, umber, no. What are you? Flesh, no. I've got a black wash and a shadow wash that are slightly different. What are you? This matches dark tone, and this is black from Vallejo, black wash from Vallejo. I think I'm just gonna put them both on my palette and see which one I like more, and go in with some washes, because I've dried brushed this, and I could go and darken the gray. I could do it painterly style, but I don't feel like it, so I'm not gonna. I would definitely do that more for like bigger pieces. Boy, what happened to you? It's so funny because, like, are the washes different? Probably not, but I want to make sure. Okay. Okay, the Vallejo one, it looks like, is much darker and more pigmented, which is kind of what I want. But I'm gonna need you. No longer need you. So this is one of my Grey Hunters with the, I don't know what this head is actually called, but it looks like a bird. So let's do some washing. Good night. The Under Armour is picking up the wash. Very lovely. I like that. Like, it just flows into those grooves really nice. But it's definitely going to be the other areas. Also, the pauldron on this guy, I want to redo something fierce. So this whole arm is not going to be able to get washed. I'm also probably being much more meticulous with my washes than I've seen people be, because I know currently I've seen people just straight up dunk their minis into wash. Which is absolutely valid, but not what I want to do. You okay, Alistair? Sound like you're having a bad time, bud. And then after this, what I think I might try and do is do a little bit of edge highlighting where I need highlights. I think the jetpack deserves an entire coat, maybe in the lighter wash. Although with the dry brushing, it can add natural highlights very, very well, which I like. I'm making this harder on myself by not having it on the stand, but that's fine. And we're going to wash the whole helmet, I think. Just to give it a little bit of griminess. Okay, that does not look half bad. I'm wondering what some of the other colors might look like, but I do like how that turned out. He does need some other repairs to him, but back over there you go. So before I go in and detail everything and drive myself fucking crazy, I'll knock him over. Let's do some dry brushing. I will also say, if you don't dry brush everything, like every little crevice, I find that it looks the best because you can really use it as like some nice bit of shine in these bigger pieces. But also you can do a trick of the light, make it look like, oh, this area is clearly getting the most light, so the other parts go kind of in the recess, and then it doesn't necessarily matter that you didn't highlight or dry brush every little bit of it. So I'm choosing the light from this direction because that's where we have like the most bits and bobs and trinkets showing. Naturally draws your eye over to this way, and then I'm adding a little bit kind of down here, like the light would catch down here, and it technically would catch his toesies, but that's gonna be mostly in snow, so that's not a big deal. If I was going like really in depth, I could also do a secondary highlight from the snow bouncing upwards. Actually, I might do that a little bit. So snow is an interesting thing in that it is very reflective. One of the worst, not the worst, but one of the worst sunburns I've ever gotten was because of the snow. And it can also cause like some really interesting, I think snow blindness is a thing where you are literally blinded by the snow because it is so bright. So I'm not going up here, I'm just taking it down wherever. Going back over to this color. It was so interesting because as I was like getting into this and watching stuff and watching various people, one of the things that I noticed was like how much dry brush is hated, which it's essentially kind of dry blending. While I like wet blending, I like dry blending better because it's a smoother gradient instead of like an almost like watery colored gradient. So on him, the shadows going in here are going to look very good. And also, just because like you know how to put very little paint on a brush and run it over a mini doesn't necessarily mean you know how to make it look good. Also, the act of just putting a little bit of paint on your brush is very hard. Alright, I think I might go into this other color. Some of these things are going to get covered up when I go in with like my metallics and stuff like that. And then I might, you know, just dry brush right over that. Now, I do want to take my smaller dry brush. And this white paint. And concentrate the paint on the knee. There we go. Not the height of here. And the color. Woo! Alright, my kitty cat's stomach is acting up, so I'm going to stop the stream here and take care of him. But thank you all for joining me, and thank you so much for helping out Alistair.